vagina is a shell, a round, pink, tender shell. Opening and closing, closing and opening. My vagina is a flower, an eccentric tulip, the center, acute and deep, the scent, delicate, the petals, gentle yet sturdy. I did not always know this. I learned this in the Vagina Workshop. I learned this from a woman who runs the Vagina Workshop. A woman who really believes in vaginas, who really sees vaginas, who helps other women see their own vaginas by seeing other women's vaginas. In the first session, the woman who ran the workshop asked us to draw a picture of our own unique, fabulous vagina. That's what she called it. She wanted to know what our own unique, fabulous, beautiful vaginas look like to us. A pregnant woman, she drew a big, red, screaming mouth with coins spilling out of it. A very skinny woman, she drew a serving platter with kind of a Devonshire pattern on it. I drew a huge black dot with squiggly lines. The black dot represented a black hole in space, and the squiggly lines, people or things, or just your basic atoms that got lost there. I always saw my vagina as an anatomical vacuum, randomly sucking up particles from the surrounding environment. Didn't think of it on biological or practical terms. I didn't even see it as something attached to. Then the woman asked us to take out our hand mirrors and to look at our vaginas. After careful examination, we were to report back to the group what we saw. It felt so reductive and awkward, us looking at our vaginas the way we were. It reminded me of how earlier astronomers must have felt with their primitive telescopes. Found it very unsettling at first, my vagina. Like the first time you cut open a fish and you discover all the layers right underneath the skin. It was so red, so raw, so fresh. And what surprised me the most were all the layers. Layers inside of layers, opening into more layers. My vagina amazed me. When it came my turn in the workshop, I could not speak. I was in fact speechless. The woman who ran the workshop, she said I had awakened in what she called vaginal wonder. I just wanted to lay on my mat, my legs spread wide open, looking at my vagina forever. It was better than the Grand Canyon. Ancient and full of grace, it had the innocence of a proper English garden. And it was funny, very funny. It made me laugh. It could open and close, hide and seek. Then the woman in the workshop asked, how many women had had orgasms? 2 women tentatively raised their hand. I did not raise my hand, but I had had orgasms. They were accidental orgasms, something that happened to me. A lot in the water, mostly in the bath, once in Cape Cod. They happen on horses, bicycles, sometimes on the treadmill at the gym. The problem though is although I had orgasms, I did not raise my hand because I didn't know how to make one happen. I always saw them as a magical, mystical things. I didn't want to interfere. It felt contrived, manipulative. It felt Hollywood. And then the surprise would be gone. The problem is the surprise had been gone for almost 2 years. I hadn't had a magical, mystical orgasm in a very long time. And I was beginning to get frantic. That's why I was in the workshop. Then the moment came that I both dreaded and longed for. The woman asked us to take out our hand mirrors once again. We were to lie on our back and locate our clitoris. There we were, a group of us women, legs spread open, searching for our spots, our locus, our purpose. And I don't know why, but I began to cry. Perhaps it was the sheer embarrassment. Perhaps it was the fact that I knew I'd have to give up this lifelong consuming fantasy that someone or something was going to do this for me. That someone was going to come along, choose direction, give me purpose, give my life reason, and give me orgasms. And I could feel the panic coming, the simultaneous terror that I had avoided finding my clitoris because I had rationalized it as mainstream, because I in fact believed that I did not have one. I thought I was one of these dried up, apricot tasting bitter. Oh my God! It reminded me of this time I went swimming. So I went swimming with my gold ring with the emeralds on it. I was 10 years old. And I lost it in the bottom of the lake. And I went diving over and over, running my hands along the stones, the fish, the slime, the bottle caps, and I could not find it. I knew I would be punished. Well, the woman who ran the workshop must have saw my insane scrambling and heavy breathing. She comes over and she says, "What's wrong?" And I said, "I lost it! I lost my clitoris! I should not have worn it swimming!" She said, "Honey, your clitoris is not something you can lose. It is you. It's the essence of you. It's the doorbell to your house and the house itself. You must be it. Be your clitoris. Be it. Be my clitoris. Be my clitoris." I lie back, close my eyes, put the hand mirror down. I see myself floating above myself, and I begin the re-entry process. It reminded me of how astronauts must feel when they're re-entering the surface of the Earth. It was quiet. I bounced and landed and bounced. I came into my blood, my cells, and I slid right into my vagina. And I was young and alive, and I felt purpose, and without even looking, I reached, and I had put my finger on what had finally become me. At first, there was a quiver, which urged me to stay. And then that quiver became a quake, a volcanic eruption, music playing, and then silence. And then all the colors. And I felt a connection, a calling connection, as I lay there thrashing about on my little blue mat. My vagina is a shell, a tulip. My vagina is a destiny. It is arriving as I am leaving. My vagina, me.